Hello and welcome to the Game Club for the Select Characters podcast and YouTube channel. I'm Sam Yates. I will be your host. And joining me, I've got Ryan Dildine and Enrique Cancel. How you guys doing?
How's it going?
So, this is Game Club. It's a segment we like to pick a video game and we all play it, talk about it, expand our own sort of general game knowledge, also have some interesting conversations. This week, I chose Renowned Explorers International Society, which is a game I like a lot. I really harped on the combat system when we were talking about mechanics for the Game of the Year stuff. I think it does a lot of things really well, and I thought it'd be fun to play. What did you guys? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really liked how kind of deep the combat systems were, and like the mood system with the friendly, devious, and aggressive. So it makes you really evaluate and calculate how you want to handle each situation. And I mean, even at like just building your team, like you have to go through all the characters and really look at which ones synergize the best with the others. And I think it just gives you a lot of cool opportunities to really slow down and think out how you're playing the game.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I know for me it was kind of trippy though, because when you start the matches, they kind of give you that little, I guess, kind of like a goal to work towards, where if you beat the game with like certain moods, you get certain rewards, and some of them are clearly better than others, but at the same time, some of those moods can put you at a disadvantage, because I think it has like a weird rock, paper, scissors kind of combination to it. And there's times when like, hey, if you win with a friendly mood, you can get this extra bonus, but by playing friendly, it automatically puts them in like, it puts you at a disadvantage for the rest of the match, so you're almost playing with a handicap.
Yeah, I really like that sort of tug-of-war element to it, because you want the final reward, but you also want the in-combat bonuses, and trying to manage those things in a way that, like, you can be ahead in the combat, but then switch back before it's all over so that you can get the final reward, I think is a really compelling way to do the kind of turn-based tactical stuff.
Yeah, especially with some of the levels, because I mean, some of those like encounters are really tough, and you almost need every advantage you can find.
Yeah, it's true. And they have the spaces of ground that heal you, which is kind of helpful. And then in general, the way you build your party is also important. But if you're teched towards devious and they just want to be friendly all the time, then it's not exactly super helpful. But there's a huge list of the way all those bonuses work out in the menu, and this game without that combat system I think comes off as empty, and I don't think it would be anywhere near as compelling without it.
Well, yeah. I really like the travel system, because it reminded me a lot of almost Faster Than Light, how you have limited supplies to you can pretty much travel as much as you want within the scope of what your supplies will last for. And after that, every additional step you take past that, you can start taking like diminishing returns on, or was it like you can lower your intellect, you can lower your resistances, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you got a risk and reward thing going on. They did a good job with the overworld map. I think my only major complaint there would be that there's not enough events for the nodes, because you start to see a lot of repeats as you go through it over and over again. And especially if you're trying to focus on a particular party, you generally go to the same locations because that's where the good rewards are, or for that composition. So that's definitely one of my minor complaints about it, for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the complaints that I had was that when you do the story mode, you only have 4 expeditions to win.
Yeah, it's 5
I guess
total.
to get your rank high enough.
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels like, I don't want to say that it's too punishing, but it almost feels like you can't really make any mistakes because you have such a limited time for it. Like, you have to know your route, and you have to have it like pre-planned in order to maximize your score for that, for only 4 rounds.
Yeah,
right. That is, the memorization part is kind of a bummer. You need to know what you can expect from all the different aspects of that game. When you finish a map and you go back to the main shop location, you need to know what you can expect from the places where you spend status, and you need to know what to expect from the merchants and how to do your research. You need to know all those things so that you can chart your course in an appropriate direction. And that's just like a lot of memorization, which is kind of a bummer.
that was rough for me. Just, I mean, how much stuff you need to memorize in the game to be able to play it at, I guess, an effective level. Like going through the tutorials and stuff, it's just, I felt like it was a lot of information, and maybe that's just me. I prefer my games to not be so, I don't know what the term is, number heavy. But yeah, that was something that kind of turned me off to it. I felt like I was doing a math problem a lot of the game, which just, it was kind of a turn off for me.
Yeah, it's weird because like I think once you finish your 4 expeditions and they do the ranking, even if you don't win, the game goes into like open sandbox mode. And I think I started having a lot more fun at that point when I didn't have that, I guess, that looming countdown on top of my head saying, hey, you can't have fun right now. You need to maximize your score up until this point.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting turn that the game takes, because at the beginning, when you first start playing it, like your very first few adventures, it does feel very much explory. Like, if the exploration feels good, you're always seeing new events. You're like, oh, I wonder what's at this location, and it's the compelling nature of just discovering the mystery that's out there. But when you start playing more and more and you're ready to start optimizing and you're ready to make that run at Shangri-La, which is, I think, the only 5-star area that I've ever seen, it becomes way less about the actual exploring part, and it's funny because that's the whole theme of the game. It's
Right.
Exploration, not optimization.
Yeah, it almost feels like at a certain point the game starts punishing you for engaging in exploration.
I did not know that.
Yeah, in what way?
Well, I mean, just in the sense that you have that countdown, and because there's a very specific route you want to follow in order to maximize your points to get to the top spot. Because if you spend it, just kind of exploring around and looking at all different nodes, you don't really, I guess, you're not getting as much as you could out of it in regards to on the number of the points.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, so if you go in because if I want to go to Transylvania, and then if I want to go to, I guess, the Caribbean, explore the Pirate Island, if I want to do this, it's not the optimal way of doing it. So in a way, I'm almost getting, I'm not getting encouraged to follow, I guess, my own path of exploration. Like, there's a very set path that I should be taking if I want to win.
Right, and the way that would work is that you would sort of pick a different party composition to explore the other path. It's not like every path is open to every party composition if you want to have an effective and possibly game-winning team, right?
Yeah, which I mean, and I guess that's kind of the point of a roguelike in that sense, that you want to have your optimized team in order to be able to tackle all the challenges in the perfect way possible. But I think it's just when you first start off, like you said, it has like a really nice charm of exploration that you kind of want to take your time and go through it.
Yeah, how did you feel about the percentage-based chance stuff with the skills and the little spinny wheel and all that stuff?
That spinny wheel, I hate it and I love it at the same time, because it gives you like that illusion of chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with the spinny wheel. I mean, I really do. It's compared to like the hidden rolls that you see. I guess an easy comparison point would be FTL, right? And
Yeah.
they have hidden rolls, and there is a percentage chance there, but you never really see it, versus this game where they actually put it in front of you and they spin the big wheel and it tick 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 ticks, and then they actually implemented the arrows so that it can just creak a little too far or not enough. It's really good.
Yeah, and like just having that visualization there, just being able to see, like you said, it's going on the skull, it's creaking. You're like, is it gonna go? Is it gonna go? Yes, no, and then sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and the times it does, you love that wheel and you're like, fuck yeah, this is great. But the times it doesn't, you curse it, say it's unfair, and all this other crap.
Yeah, it is really good, and that's, I guess that does tie back into what I would say, that memorization problem, because those challenges are never going to change. That person with that skill set will always perform well on that. So once you get a general sense of what's about to be coming up, the surprise and the thrill and the magic is gone. And that's I guess the falling off point for me. Like, I think that, in my opinion, that game, at the very beginning, I was so into it and I loved it so very, very much, and I don't think it stands up to the test of time. I don't think that game has very long legs for me personally.
You think just like the more you play it, you kind of start getting into that mentality, and it kind of, the fun of it goes away.
Yeah, because I did like it when I was playing it first. It was so charming and everything was so fresh and interesting. Like, fighting a giant gorilla was awesome, and going to these new locations, reading the events. I think all the text is really well done. And I think just as a concept and a theme and a story, quotes, I guess, that it's pretty cool.
I think that word suits this game very well, charming, because I've been sitting here trying to think of, you think of the word that I guess kind of encapsulates it. If you had to encapsulate the game in one word, and I mean just everything from the environment to, how you're encouraged to explore, to the animations, everything feels very charming. All the characters, because they have like little backstories and stuff. I think that's the biggest draw for me into this game, because it's a roguelike, so it's not my preferred style, but I was able to get more into this game than many other roguelikes. And
I would definitely give them like a little gold star, like you said, animations, for the ability that they give, because that game can move along at a clip. Like, they give you the option to turn all the animations off and everything.
It reminded me of playing Fire Emblem on my Game Boy.
Oh yeah, how you could just skip everything and just go straight
just
through
the combat system, and like everything looks very similar to that. and it was almost kind of nostalgic for me.
Yeah, there's plenty of games like this where they get that wrong, and they want you to watch the entire animation every time you do something, and it immediately gets stale. But this game, I think, definitely has the framework for the again, jump back in, do it again, because it moves along at a fast enough pace that it only stops when you stop it because you want to think about something for a second.
And yeah, and everything is so just everything in the interface, and like we said, the animations it's so polished, and it's also just silky smooth. It's almost fun just to maneuver through the game interface.
Yeah.
So that's great. I really like that. I appreciated that from the beginning.
So I guess to sum it up and kind of give an overall impression, I'm positive, but that needle is moving down the more I play of it. I don't think it'll ever go away. I mean, I think it came out hard enough and strong enough in the beginning that I'll always like it, but I don't think I'll be coming back to it all the time in the future.
Yeah, I think I will, but I'm definitely get more enjoyment out of it playing the sandbox mode where I don't have that countdown clock of you're playing this wrong. Because like I said,
yeah,
and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just like when there's that goal of saying you have to get this is how you win the game. Any action that you take that goes in contrary to that is you playing the game wrong. And I think that's kind of what got me. That I felt like with the 4 explorations, that's all you have. It felt like a lot of pressure. But once you get your little celebration, it turns out you didn't win or whatever. The sandbox mode is actually really fun because at that point you actually can go around at your own pace, explore different locations, and I think that gives you more of a chance to see what's out there and kind of build your strategy up.
I think
so. It's kind of like the game saying like, there's no right or wrong way to play, but here's the right way to play.
Yeah.
An optimization problem without constraints is the most boring thing in the world because everything just ramps to infinity. You need that. You need to be locked into those, I think. I mean, yes, there's probably enjoyment in the free explore mode. I've actually never played that. Every game I played was on Adventure Classic.
Okay.
But, I mean, without that, you would just ramp forever and overpower everything. I think you would lose a lot of the tension by doing that. But that's okay.
That's definitely true. I think I would have preferred it if they have the sandbox mode separate from the story, like I guess like the classic or story mode, to kind of let you pick and choose where you want to go first.
Yeah.
The sandbox thing was actually a recent addition. I don't think that was there when I first started playing it, and then it got patched in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not too long ago. So that's interesting. That you enjoy that the most. That's something they added later. So I guess they're paying attention to what people want.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a fun game. I mean, it's definitely a fun roguelike, and like I said, I'm a really huge fan of Faster Than Light, and just the way the overworld navigation worked really reminded me of that, which was kind of like a really nice throwback.
And I think it's worth playing just to see their take on turn-based tactics.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I think that's probably one of the more unique combat mechanics I've seen, with the whole the mood system affecting the gameplay and the bonuses and all that.
So that was the game club for Renowned Explorers. I think we're also doing Sleeping Dogs. We got a few other things in the pipeline. If you have any thoughts on those games, send us an email, selectcharacters@gmail.com. We also do a weekly podcast, which you can find on iTunes or your local RSS feed. Just search for Select Characters and watch our YouTube channel. We do opinion videos, all kinds of cool content coming out. Get in touch, hang out. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.